we're going to race. And it's Bank Holiday Friday, so I'm off, and look, I have invested in some new second-hand paddock stands for the bike, and they are marvellous. Best 40 quid off Facebook Marketplace I ever spent. And the plan is today is to sort out the wiring. I've got a different gear set to go on it and a new chain, and get as much buttoned up as I can. I want to do the breather system as well, and sort out them front crash bobbins, because they're just not going to do the job. Oh, and the clocks, we need to do something about that.
What are you doing, Dad?
Well, before we even get going on doing anything, there's some parts of the day that can't be missed, and I'm a really big coffee drinker, and it just so happens that this is not the normal brand of coffee I drink, or these, but my good friend at Go Mobile has bought me some coffee to sample. So what I'm on now is this, and apparently it's the world's strongest coffee, but we'll see about that. The judge of it will be me in the drinking, and that's what I'm going to get fired up on to get this project finished. If it don't fit, don't force it. And thanks very much, staff at Go Mobile Chester. If you need your phone fixing, look him up, he's the man. So my plan here is to just go one step at a time. There is lots of safety features on this bike, like you got to pull the brake in, activate the clutch and do all kinds to make it start. Well, I don't want none of that. I just want an on button and hit the go button and it start up and be ready to go, because I ain't into all that fannying around. There's also stuff like indicator relays, bits of wiring and stuff that we don't need. All we need is a rain light. So they've got to go. Hey, Hughes. And so they've got to go, and we just got to, you know, have a reliable bike that's going to work, and we don't need to be dragging around all these extra bits and pieces. So that's what we're going to do. First hit on the agenda, put the wiring loom on a diet. My phone never stops going. Thanks. So we're going to remove this expansion tank, and I'm replacing it with this little one on the front, which is claim your motorbike accident thing. So we're going to get rid of that and we're going to fit this instead just around here somewhere, which is much better. Whilst we're in here, we're going to check the diaphragm on the top of the carburettor, I think, and change the throttle cable and the clutch. So here we have our little carburettor, and she's okay, but the throttle cable seems to have seen better days, and I want to check the diaphragm in it and just have a bit of a look at it, make sure everything's hunky-dory. This is our breather system, which I'm going to leave standard. This one's split, so we're going to put a new piece of pipe to the bottom of the air box, and then we'll get on with the wiring. So once you've taken the cap off with the 2 screws, there's a big spring, and then when you pull it out, there's a plunger with a needle on it. Just stay there for a second, please. Gotta watch you don't lose your screws. Nearly did. Right, and you want to give this diaphragm a really good examination. So these have a fixed needle in them, and then on top of that there's a plastic bit with a spring, and you just twist it and take it out if you want to change the needle or adjust it. It's non-adjustable, but you could put a little shim underneath it to lift it if you wanted to. But we're going to leave it alone for now. All looks to be in good order. And then there's a little tit on the diaphragm that has to line up. Be careful with your screws, you don't need to go wild with them. You don't need to go in there like a vandal. The other thing that's worth checking is there's two vacuum pipes that come off there. One is for the tank and the other one goes to the breather system. If they're split, it can cause you all kinds of inconsistencies, and the rubber boot that connects it to the engine, because if she's split, she'll be leaning right out and going all over the place. So now I'm going to turn my attention to the throttle cable because it's shite. So I've disconnected it down here with just pulled it off the carb, and you can see someone's done a little cockery on there because it's not original, and the out is horrible, and just a couple of little nuts there. I'm just going to undo it here. Now I was going to eventually put a quick action throttle on it, but for now we're just sticking with what we got because I have blown the budget already. Not that I was expecting things to be cheap, but you know, I just slide them off. Come on, no. There we go. And then Right, so because I'm an absolute fucking clown and I'm not concentrating on what I'm doing, I've forgotten to put the spring back in underneath the diaphragm, so I'll have to take that off again, but I'll save you the inconvenience and just do it off camera quickly. So with that sorted out now, I can concentrate back on the throttle cable. I'm just going to wind it on out, and you can see my tape, broken, rubbish. We'll keep it as a spare because it's better than nothing, but that is crap. So in over there for now, and let's get the new one. Oh, if you're wondering, this here is the older brake light switch, but that's going to be in the wiring section in a minute. So hot from eBay, look at this, genuine Honda stuff. Throttle cable, there's a part number, mint. Look how lovely it is. Oh yeah, love it. Oh mate, look at that. It's got ends on it and everything. And slide them in. In you go. Wind her on up. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. Oh, it's beautiful. Where's the didgeridoo gone now? Where's it? What's that? Where's the end gone? What have I done with it? Oh, there's a wire. Ah, there it is. I'm sitting then, pull the slack out, pop it on. Yes. So mint. I'm spinning round. Tighten that up in a minute. I want to go through there, down there, round there. So through here, through there. Oh, not through there. That's no good. Down there. So now the plan is, we're going to put a new clutch cable on because it's done a lot of mileage, and I don't want it to let go, and we'll keep the old one for just in cases. That's out. Here we go. Yeah, baby. There we go. Right then, that's that on, and we'll check and adjust in a bit when we get it running after. So whilst I was stripping things down to sort the wiring out in the interests of weight saving and so on, I got rid of the poxy little fan because you don't need it and we'll constantly be moving, I hope, and if we're not, I'll just shut it off. So yeah, that's cool, and you don't want it rubbing a hole in your rad. So the next job on the agenda is, I don't like this business, I want this instead. So, but first of all, I know on some bikes they have little resistors in and bits and bobs to make the voltage right, to make things work, but I don't think that's the case on this one. So what I did was I just jumped the wire between the two wires that come from the ignition switch, and sure enough she fired right up. So I'm just going to wire this in, and that is going to be a on and off. So I'll have on and off and a start button, and then I'll just put my rain light switch somewhere. Right, so there we go. There's another thing surplus to requirement. We don't need a horn, dip beam, main beam, or the indicators. So there we go. Let me just check that we still have what we need. Oh, still got ignition. And she still cranks. That's my phone. That's my phone again. So we're going to have two switches mounted next to each other, rain light switch and our ignition. Bonjour Mr. Go Mobile, and welcome to a Heartbreak Garage YouTube video. Right, so what I've done is I've taken the old ignition barrel and I've cut the wires off, so I'm just left with the connector, and I'm going to connect that to this, and then I've got another one of these, so I'm going to use the same connection on the rain light as well, so if we have an ignition issue I can just swap them over and, you know, build in a fail safe that I can just swap the plugs over, and that'll be that, you know, because ignition is important. So what we're going to do now is connect the wires and crimp it, solder it, shrink wrap it. So that's my plan, and then I'll use some loom tape to tidy it up. So I've cut the two terminals off. I'm going to use my knife here to trim the insulation off, because I don't want that, because I'm going to put my own on. And that's going to leave me with two of these nice little, they're almost like barrel connectors. Like, you might not agree with what I'm doing, but I don't care, this is how I like to do it. So there's some red and black shrink wrap, and then I'm going to use a couple of these as well. So they've got solder in the middle of them, and we're going to use them. So, oh man, dropped something. We'll thread him on, and we'll Come on, fingers. Slide that on. And then we'll do the same on the red wire. So we've got our red tape, that thing there, and this. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. And now we'll crimp them. And we'll put that over there. So that's solder and stuff in there. Should have a heat gun for this, but I've only got my lighter with me, so it'll have to do. So now we've got a crimp down a soldered joint. So there's our heat shrink over it. And there we go. One down. And then, so I'll repeat the same procedure on this side and I'll bring you back in a minute. Two crimped and soldered joints. So now I'm going to get my loom tape. There we go. So we'll run it inside the fork leg, down here, through here, up here, and into here, and then with a bit of luck we'll plug them in. And we'll every step of the way. Men. So now I want to figure out what else is unnecessary. So we'll turn the ignition on like that, and we're going to look for the click for the starter relay. Now I know it's this one here, but yeah, that's the one. So now we're going to get rid of all the unnecessaries, and we're going to go through it and figure it all out. So we don't need the rear brake light, but we do need it to be able, because it'll put in the interlock, so you won't be able to start it without it. So we're going to get rid of the rear brake light switch, the front brake light switch, and the side stand thing. So that's next on the agenda. So now the side stand. So this is the plug for the side stand that I've cut off. I'm going to get rid of the side stand. Now I am going to make a custom wiring loom for this, but not before this race. I haven't got the time, so we're just making it work. So bike won't start unless it gets a signal from here to know the side stand is up. So I'm just going to connect the two wires together, and to do that I'm going to do this. I'm going to cut the wires maybe there. Then I'm going to strip a good portion. She likes a good portion, like that. Okay, a bit more off that one so they're nice and even. Yeah, then we're going to twist them together like that. Cut that off. Snip that. Then we're going to fold him over. And we're going to slip that on there. Like that. Slide him on. So that's what we've got. Then we're going to crimp it like that, and we're going to take one of these and we're going to cut that bit off. I'm going to slide that on there like that. This is probably overkill, but you know, should have bought my heat gun. And heat them up until the solder melts. And then there it goes. See the solder poking out the end there? Beautiful. And now we've got to waterproof the operation. We don't want water getting in there and corroding it, so we're going to use a bit of shrink wrap. I'm going to slide them on and cook him on up. Nice. Then we're going to fold the end over. Slide that one on. Snip the excess off. There we go. There's our little blank. Go to and put it on the bike. So now, you just plug them in, like so, and then I'm going to tape into that plug. Like that. So it's not bouncing around everywhere. And then put them in the frame holder. And that is that. Put a bit of tape on there, so that holds that all in there. Right then. And then on. Excellent. So now here I am with the clocks off the bike, and I don't really want anything except the rev counter and the fuel gauge. So I'm going to put, I don't know whether I'll keep that, but I'm going to do something with these clocks. So all I want is that and that. So we're going to try. So GoPro time, I've removed the front fascia off the clocks by taking out all the retaining screws. And my plan is I'm going to move the fuel gauge over to where the temperature gauge is. And we're not going to run a temp gauge because well, we might do, I don't know yet, we'll see. So that's my plan anyway. So let's see if this works. So I'm going to remove that gauge and put it over here. Then I'm going to re-pin the wiring that goes to the plug so it works. So what I've managed to do now is put the fuel gauge in the other side, and we're just going to have rev counter and fuel gauge. So now I'm going to sort out the wiring. So that's one half, that's the other half. Now I just need to tidy it up. Hoping everything still works afterwards. So now, these are my clocks, rev counter and a fuel gauge, that's all they want. A bit of tape on them, but they are screwed together. So now I'm just going to take the wires out that I don't want to be in here. So everything that's not connected to something wants to come out. Right then, so what I've got going on here is I've got the clocks I just made and they're going to locate into there, on there, like that. And then I've got this, which is a piece of guttering that was left over from the shed. And I'm going to drill a hole in there, mount it up and attach it to there, which will hold what's left of my clocks in position. So here we have it, the wiring is complete and we have ignition with a neutral light, and if you watch, let me position you. As I rock the bike or the tank, the fuel gauge works. So that's a bonus. And then we've got our rain light there and our ignition there. Battery's flat though. So the wiring is complete. Now the tank's going on for the last time. We've got a brand new tank rubber to go on it to secure the tank nicely. I also have taken the tumblers out of the fuel cap, so I don't need a key to open it. Mint. So, welcome to the next day, and here we are back in the work area. Now then, what I'm going to show you is a prime example of why, when you think you should stop and go in, don't just go, well, I'll just do that, because it never fucking works out. Go in, get yourself coffee, have a beer, whatever you need to do, but don't do that one last thing you wanted to do, because you're just going to cock it up. So I've cocked it up, and here we go. That's my radiator overflow that I snapped off last night, because I just thought, well, I'll just do that last one thing before I crack on. Well, I fucked it. So now I've got to take it apart and pop it to my mates to repair it, hopefully. North Wales radiators, place to be. I fucked it! So now with the radiator debacle firmly behind us, it's now time to strip the front wheel off and do the front wheel bearings and a few modifications and refurb the front forks. So with the refurbishment spray firmly applied, it's now time to do the wheel bearings. So we've got all new wheel bearings for everything, and that's the part number. We've got the bearing in on, so we've got the bearing in on the disc size. Now we need to put the spacer in, because you don't want to forget about that. Come on, in you go. Come on, get in there. Crumbs. There we go. Spacer in. Now we'll pop the other bearing in and the other seal. So if you've made it this far into the video, we're almost at the end. I've done some things off camera as well. I've redone the chain and sprockets, redone the wheel bearings in the front and the back, and a couple other bits and bobs. Now all that's left to do is ride the bike and see what actually happens. The clock's against us now and we've not got long left. It's Monday and we need to be getting out of here on Friday morning, testing on Friday and racing on Saturday. So fingers crossed she's all good. If you don't fit, don't force it. So I've cleaned the work area and the bike's there. I've been out for a ride on it and everything's awesome, except I have got a flat spot between 8 and 10 and a splutter, and I don't like it. So I'm hoping to get that sorted for the weekend. But that brings this episode of Heartbreak Garage to an end. It's been an epic. I hope you watched it. I did want to do more separate episodes, but there was just not the time and I had to get it done. The washing machine's draining off, excuse that. So if it don't fit, don't force it, and I'll see you all in Teesside. Please like and subscribe. And one last thing. Thanks very much to my father-in-law for all the help, Royston for all the help, my dad for supplying me a load of bits, father-in-law for supplying me loads of bits, and all the help I've received off the freetech forum and the Facebook page. Awesome. Thanks very much. I'm making new friends and we're going to have a laugh.